Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here, and welcome back to Swordflight. Alright, so time to get Zarala a teacher. Let me inside and inquire among them. Not sure if I should let you in to bother students about such a thing. Doubt anyone would be interested in serving some noble woman. Wow, I actually succeeded a persuade check. Isn't my persuade... my persuade is... I rolled really well on my persuade. So you're supposed to be the great swordsman. You're to speak to your students. Yeah, if you're a fighter, you can actually talk to him. Assuming that you've done the fighter quest. This is the guy that you found at the very beginning of the game in at the inn, the Shifting Sands Inn, who had nothing good to say to you. You new student here, just stay out of my way, Master Korad's star pupil. I'm not a student, I'd like to ask you, you're too incompetent to be worthy of Master Korad's time. Work for Zarala, interested in hiring an expert swordsman to give her private lessons. Would you be interested? What I got out trying to teach some spoiled noble brat. She has no true dedication. Waste of my time. Heard of 500 gold up front plus 250 per lesson. Think I'm interested in money. Concerned only with the perfection of my art. One day I shall be the greatest swordsman in Faerun. Even now I'm great enough to serving some nobleman's passing fancies beneath me. Heard it said teaching something's a good way to learn it more perfectly. If you desire to be a great swordsman, spend some time as an instructor. Maybe I was too hasty. Heard Korad say something similar to you. The process of instructing others has aided his own understanding. When one thinks of how to explain or demonstrate something so that others may understand it, one's own thinking will be clarified. If that's so, perhaps it would be helpful for me to spend some time as an instructor. I'm only considering it. Having to spend more time than I already do working with fools and incompetents is not a pleasant prospect if the price were right. I'm not interested in money. I intend to demand a different sort of payment. Want me to accept the offer, keep the 500 gold, and instead perform a service, one that will solve a certain dilemma I have. My brother Tehran Ashlar, a scoundrel disgraced to our family, who's currently languishing in the city dungeons, I long ago resolved never to speak to him again. Recently he corresponded with me, telling me that he wished to make amends for some of his previous behavior, asking me to visit him so he could tell me where to find the Ashlar ring and heirloom of our family. Left me uncertain how to proceed, eager to recover the ring, not sure how I could learn of its location without speaking to my brother, in violation of my resolve. I'd like you to go to the dungeon, speak to him, tell you where to find the ring, bring it to me. I'll accept the task of instructing Zarala. Here's your visitor's pass. I have access to the dungeon. Watch might not let you in without it. They also might demand a fee for the privilege of entering. Of course. Should be less than 500 you plan to pay me. Fine. Because it can't be easy, can it? And naturally, there's basically no reward for Zarala's various quests. But I believe... See, I'm always, I think, further ahead with Zarala's quest than I am with Hamad's. And so I'm pretty sure he will stop giving you quests until you do some of hers at some points. Because you have to do hers. But I'm not 100% sure. Because I've never actually tried it. And don't really care to. Be really inconvenient to have to do all this running around. Well, I guess eventually it might not be so bad. I don't know. All I know is you kind of have to do her quests too. Alright, well I saw the dungeons before. Okay, that's the pass. Have the visitor's pass to see Tehran. Administrative fee of 450. That's outrageous. Yeah, they don't even let you talk your way out of it because Zarala is the one who paid for it, so... Whatever. Prisoners. Some cam guy. Whoa, cameras all over the place. Are you here to kill me? How'd you think I was here to kill you? Guess you're not what I thought. Since I got put in here, I've been filling the ear of the watch tales of my criminal exploits, things that my former associates wouldn't be happy hearing about. Oh. I assume he's part of one of the other people's quests, because I've never done anything with him. But he's probably part of a different quest line. Here on behalf of your brother Garad, he has heard you wish to return the Ashlar ring to him, doesn't want to have to speak to you. Still insists on holding a grudge. By so doing, you risk the ring being lost to us both. Ought to refuse to do anything, but unfortunately there's no time for me to start playing such games. Suppose I'll have to tell you... Suppose I'll have to go along with my brother's intentions and tell you. What do you have to tell? Ashlerin can be found a hideaway in the sewers. Let me tell you where. Go where I've indicated. Go through the passages till you find a lower level of the sewers. Rings in a chest. It's behind a locked or warded gate. There's a lever to open it, concealed in the secret chamber. This points to a spot where you, on the map which you mark. Should be able to find the door. Know where to look. Why does the ring to be obtained so quickly? There's another complication. You're not going to be the only one looking for it. My former partner in crime, man by the name of Sylar Name, is also looking for it. We've had a falling out. He wishes to steal it from me. You must try to beat him to it. Watch out for him if you come across him. He's a violent, dangerous man. Watch out for my chest since it's trapped. Alright.
Yes,
Which is more than glad to be bothered with. I have a few choices to deal with you, however little I like it. Being locked in a dungeon severely restricts one's options. Alright. So I gotta go to the sewers then. You know, these are some really terrible guards.
Awaiting orders, sir.
There's a part of me that just wants to blow through this place like a whirlwind of destruction. Oh, whoops. But I won't, I guess. Partly because if I start doing things like that, I mean, I know that most of the guards aren't that dangerous. But then there's people like Hamad, or that general we came across, who would get involved, and those people can kill me, like, with a thought, so... I mean, eventually they wouldn't be that bad. Alright, I'm hoping I can get there safely. On the off chance that I cannot, I'm gonna buff before I actually head out. Even if I do, I don't know if there are actual monsters there or not. I always forget about this entire portion of the game. This whole quest. Mostly because I don't really care about running Zarala's errands. I just sort of have to. Hideaway. Okay. Well, given that it's not just a little alcove with a chest in it, I figure there's probably were-rats or beetles lying around here too, or slimes. Those are the most common threats of the sewers. Oh boy. Fortunately, I carry the anti-beetle with me. You know, I guess 27 isn't a bad armor class. It's certainly not as good as I would like it to be. See, they still hit me. But at least it's not like every single strike is getting me. Man, there's a lot of big ones. They're kind of annoying. I think I should kill the big stinky one. He seems to be hitting me a little more often than the others. He's worth the same XP. It's probably about the same level. At least it has the proper disparity in beetles. It would suck to come into one of these rooms and, like, you have a decent enough saving... or armor class. Not armor class. Saving throw. Yeah, I was right the first time. But, there's 30 stink beetles, and so they all blast you with the stuff, and you get dazed, basically, no matter what your saves are, because of just percentage. And then, of course, you get melted by the bombardier beetles, because you can't do anything. Fortunately, these necklaces trivialize most of them anyway. And they're one of the main reasons I don't want to have to wear a holy symbol. The holy symbols are handy, keep them on any clerics or probably paladins that I use. But given that I have bark skin, that is my holy symbol. Because it doesn't give me the spells, oh boy. But it gives me the other benefit, which is the natural armor class. Okay, you know what, actually? These things are kind of annoying. I'm gonna do that. Because I know they don't like fire. They can also paralyze me, which would not be ideal, but I think it's a, oh, it's a reflex save. Maybe that's about the engulfing thing. Their gelatinous cubes are a weird enemy, because they, you can actually get inside of their character model, I think, to an extent. And if you do, well... Alright, forget what I just said. I don't know what causes the engulfing. Because I know it's not just fighting with them. I have had... Whoa. Was I just seeing parts of the gelatinous cube actually flowing into one of those sewer grates? If I did, that'd be pretty cool. That's some neat detail. I don't think it's just being within melee range of them, because I've had characters that were not, or that were, you know, up close whacking them, but weren't engulfed until the thing, like, took a slip closer. I don't know. They're weird enemies. And Swordflight makes liberal use of them. You know, something I actually haven't seen much any of throughout all my time playing Swordflight so far is slots. Slots were everywhere in the original Neverwinter Nights games. You encountered them just routinely. They were semi-less present in Shadows of Undertide, and there weren't very many in Hordes of the Underdark, but there were some in a couple of... Whoa, hello. In a couple of reasonably significant locations. You know, Tehran, if that was a dangerous man to you, I feel like you're kind of weak. Okay, so that'd be where the secret door is. But anyway, there were slot everywhere. Throughout all my time playing Swordflight so far, I have not encountered any slots. I've encountered basically every other monster I could think of. Not actually, but a lot of them. Way more than I ever expected to. I got protections. Okay. Wrong kind of protection. But no slots. Maybe the guy doesn't like them. Maybe Rogue Knight. Not a fan of those things. Which, fair. They're the worst. Especially with Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, where even red slots will summon extra slots, so every slot that you fight is actually 2 slots. And the second one's not worth any experience. Only usable by an outsider, gives spell resistance, 10% fire immunity, plus 2 armor class bonus. That's neat. It's not great rank, but I can see why someone would want it. But it's only usable by outsiders, which really does limit its effectiveness. To most of us. Garrod is Genocide, so it's no problem for him. I like my fire axe. I just noticed that Cure Light Wounds and Cure Moderate Wounds both gave me the exact same amount of health. I would like to take something else, but frankly all of these are pretty useless. A couple of magic damage. Honestly, I don't know. You know what? No, why am I... Second Call Lightning. This should be obvious. Yeah, let's go market. I don't know that market's actually the closest one to an exit, but it seems to get me reasonably close. It's one of the smaller sewer areas, so the odds of me being jolted to somewhere I hate are a little more minimal. I tell you, Calimport has some really infuriating bureaucrats lying around. Everyone who handles the doors for these places, you just hate to deal with so much. You recovered the Ashlar ring? Yes. It's restored to me since you've done what I asked. I must honor agreement, become Zarala's teacher of swordsmanship. Alright. Problem solved. I made a whole 50 gold out of it so far. But I got a decent bit of XP. I'm not in it for the gold anyway. Zarala doesn't have the fortune of her family. One of his students, Garad, is willing to help you. I'll have one of the servants contact Garad to arrange a specific schedule. In the meantime, there might be something else you can help me with. In my magical research, I've come across a formula for fashioning a magical item to be useful to a bard, the lightning lute. Allow me to channel my air-based powers in a damaging blast against foes. Need some special components for it. Crystal blue quartz. Found that. Blood of a wyvern. Got that. Also need a non-magical lute to hold the enchantments. Alright. Let's put on this real quick. Really? I have a potion of lore. Why not? It's kind of a waste, but this is why they exist. I thought it was just a light hammer plus 2. Really? Me with all my lore power and the plus 5 from the ring. Doesn't do it. Yeah, mark it. I need to buy a loot from one of these random merchants out here. Don't need that anymore.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's what I said. Oh, that's all you got.
He was the one that had the most miscellaneous stuff. He's probably got it. He had some bard-related equipment anyway. Wow, 75 gold just for 3 ichor? I really am probably that guy's best supplier. Oh, let me see what you got. No, he does not have a loot. That's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's what I said.
Confusion, 1d4 acid damage. That's an interesting one. Spell resistance. That's a weird weapon to have. That's a cool one. On hit, flare, that's a -1 attack. Only 39 grand for that thing? How is that more expensive? That's because of the spell resistance, isn't it? Wow, that's a lot of uses per day on those things. I guess if you're a wizard, you'll probably end up using that. Because they can use crossbows. Do you have something? You do. A regular loot. That'll work. Glad to get away from the yammering of the streets. have everything you requested. Take the stuff, just have to cast the correct spells. This will be a nice loot to have, however, for myself adventuring again. And I can use it to play music regardless. Yeah, that would be pretty handy. 1,000 gold? Now there you go. I can't think of anything else for you to do. Should return to my studies. Have you made any progress through the materials from Innis? I'm still working on them. Won't help if I rush through them and miss something crucial. Maybe if you go rest or something, come back later, I'll have something to tell you. Will do. I need rest anyway. Unfortunately, no desert plants out in the mountains and the forests, so I'm not able to get seeds for my very good druid friend whose name I definitely remember without having to go here. Yeah, Elkadin Kamas, that guy whose name I know. Can't think of anything else for you. I haven't found anything that looks like a reason to assassinate someone. Found out a lot of fascinating stuff about the sword. Once the weapon wielded by the Jin Safad, and the great Jinni Kaleem was ruling the land. Safad was one of his lieutenants. Sword can create planar gates, draw power through them. It's quite unique, more so than the other piece of powerful magic left over from those times. You know, the history of the Kaleem, the Jin Kaleem, and the Ifrit Memnon were imprisoned in a crystal. To limit and contain their destructive magical warring, elves trapped their physical forms in the Kali Memnon crystal. Continuing struggle of their spirits stirs up sandstorms and similar disruptions, created the wasteland that is the Kaleem Desert. Creating that desert's only a fraction of the damage they could cause if their bodies were freed and restored to full power, and they were not constrained. How's this connected to the sword? Some of the subordinate Jin in Kaleem's retinue were trapped along with him or banished back to their home plane, but Safad wasn't one of these. He created the sword specifically as a tool to free his master. Crystals contained within the keep of Sirwajin, a magical structure that floats somewhere over the desert, its exact location concealed by magical wards. Safad enchanted his sword so that at an appropriate moment it could be sent flying to seek out this keep and blast through its magical protections. So what went wrong? The sword needed to spend some time drawing power through its planar connections. It seems before this was done, Safad was attacked by a powerful demon named Azkolkar. With all these extra planar creatures coming and going at the time, the planar boundaries were quite weak and porous. It seems the demon somehow slipped through, was trying to stir up trouble. Loosely allied with a faction of Ifrit, and had fought against Kaleem and Safad before, happy enough to see Kaleem and Memnon remain trapped, figuring that would create a power vacuum he could move into. Safad was the victor and killed Azkolkar, while banished him back to the Abyss. He had to use his powerful sword in the fight to prevail, and apparently slaying the demon somehow tainted or depleted its power. Not entirely clear from the surviving history. But whatever happened to the sword, he wasn't able to use it as planned, and shortly after that, Safad was killed in a fight with the humans and elves trying to clear out the Jinn and other extraplanar nuisances. I can't see why anyone today would want to do that. It would just cause a lot of random destruction to free them. Not purposeful enough to serve any obvious interest. Aside from that, the sword allegedly has powers to open gates and channel energy that could be useful to someone with extraplanar connections. It could be wielded as a powerful weapon, though there are plenty of other magic swords around if that's all you want to do. One thing that got my attention, to use the sword at its full power one needs to be a descendant of Safad. Sunkar mentioned that. Stuff he wrote mentions a few things about how someone in Safad's bloodline could use the sword, perhaps even control it. There's even a story in here about a descendant who was able to magically reforge the sword when it was somehow broken. From what it says, thinking it must be a descendant of Safad, that's how I was able to activate the sword as a child. Not if the information we have is accurate. Hard to be sure since all this happened thousands of years ago. Certainly don't have any records of my ancestry that go that far back, but I must have some ancestors among the Jinn to be an heir genie. This seems to fit. Of course, when you know it, the information about exactly how a descendant of Safad would go about controlling the sword is far from complete, so let's hope I won't be expected to do that. We suppose those interested in the sword are somehow connected with those consuming fire people, just possible it might explain why they want to kill me. If they have some plans connected with the sword, someone with powers to control the sword could be a problem. But you're right, we haven't explained very much. Sunkar mentions a book called On the Sword of Safad, written by a scholar, Darzeth Shemal, a couple centuries ago. Should have even more information than what he could find out, including more details about how a descendant of Safad could utilize its power. Only one copy of that book known to exist, donated to the Library of Candlekeep some time ago. It lies hundreds of miles to the north, isn't exactly the easiest place to get into, so we can't do much with that source. Have to hope some more information turns up. Alright, so that should be the last of her quests. All done. Let's head out to the gates. Again, I don't think I've got anything No, I'm all supplied. Well, I could use some more healing kits. You know, in normal Neverwinter Nights, when you have more henchmen, you get less XP per kill. But in Swordflight, I seem to notice the weird disparity that I can't quite put my finger on, where sometimes it seems to... Oh, I do have more healer's kits here. Those are +3. Okay. Yeah, I could use some more +3 ones. I'll take another stack. I have 200,000 gold and nothing to spend it on, so I will absolutely buy a bunch of cheap ones here. It's only like 1,000 gold, a little more than that, to buy them. So yeah, let's stack again. You can never have too much healing. And while I never actually ran out, I was kind of worried about having to dip into huge numbers of potions to make up the difference of these things. Well, I guess the healing kits do kind of have diminishing returns if you don't have any heal ability. Okay, let's go to Tebnas. Of course, we're getting ambushed. Well, we should rest in between this place and the last place, so... I'm just gonna buff up now. I can't actually see what's out there. Given the sounds, it's nothing good. I basically just got maximum benefit on everything. Constitution could be 23, but it wouldn't change the numbers. Alright, let's see what we're dealing with. Whoa, I did not zoom in. Oh, goodness. Bugbears, goblins, and apparently they have contracted hill giants. Contracted. Alright, Fira, you might be good to take a whack from one of those things. Kill the hobgoblins. Okay, so it's not just goblins, it's goblinoids. As in, a small pile of different kinds of goblin-related creatures. Oh man, they hurt. Oh, thanks. Those things are worth 148 a pop. They're kind of tough. Not ultra tough. I could kill one alone. It would just hurt a lot. Well, there's a little more fire than I would have expected there to be. Given that the 8th Regiment should be here defending things. Aw, man. I'm down a Constitution and a Dexterity. A single Constitution number, a more bonus, it gets me up to 16 extra. No, it's 12. 192, right? Or is it 196? Either way, that's quite a bit. Hobgoblin Champion. That doesn't look good. Let's just, yeah, guys, get in a little closer. Alright, kill that champion. Oh, there you go. Okay, so clearly the 8th Regiment did not do its job. At least not well enough. And the town has fallen. A deserter? That doesn't sound good. What are you doing here? I'm an adventurer barbarian here to fight goblins. I might ask you the same question. You're a soldier. You one of the members of the regiment? I was part of the regiment, but I'm getting out of it. Just joined up because I couldn't find a better job. Haven't had a major war in ages. Never expected to have to do any real fighting. Slipped away from my post a few days ago. Been hiding around the village ever since. Where's the rest of the regiment? Or any survivors in the village? Don't know anything. Left the regiment days ago. Been hiding ever since. First from my superiors, now from the goblins. Just leave me be. It's your job to defend the village. Don't get out there. Do so. You'll all wish you had goblins to deal with instead of me. There's too many goblins. Not throw my life away for some pathetic villager I don't even know. Coward like you. That'd be kind of evil thing to do. I told him he should get killed after this is all done, so now I'm the reconciler. Now there's a goblin wizard around here. Well, goblins... So, I know you don't... Well, I was about to say you shouldn't underestimate the small things because... oh, wait a minute. He's got an acid shield up. And that shield hurts a lot. Man, doing 30 acid damage a hit? That is absurd. Can you change necklace? Thank you. Okay, so this was an inn. They probably caught and killed a bunch of travelers in here. I believe that's an exterior portion of... like a balcony. Appears to be a bard. He's proven to be a match for the goblins who got this far. Word of the goblin attack on the village spread to adventurers. That was remarkably quick. I was already on my way here. Who are you? Yastin Zadar, traveling minstrel, had stopped off at the village in the course of my wanderings. It's true one never knows what quality of service to expect from a rustic inn, but such an extraordinary onslaught of goblins is a bit much even by the standards of this remote countryside. Seem to have handled yourself well enough. I was lucky only this pair found their way to my room so far. Seems to be a whole army of them about. Should probably take this moment to escape. If you cleared a path through to here, I advise you to flee as well. Supposed to be a regiment of soldiers. Do you know what happened? If a regiment's supposed to be protecting this village, it's not doing a very good job. Saw no sign of any soldiers, just recently showed up in the region. Alright. Number of villagers fleeing to a large structure in the center of the village, their town hall. Last time I saw, some were still holding out there. Couldn't last long against the horde. They'll break in and kill them all. Well, you could try to save what's left of the village. As I said, I think you'd be wiser to flee. Why not join with me? I've had my share of adventures, not too bad with the blade, but I'm not up to facing the massive horde. You could stick around, join up with any surviving villagers I find in the town hall, help inspire the resistance. Well, fine then. Just get. Cowards. Everyone just running away. It's just a goblin horde. What's the worst they're gonna do? Torture you to death? Like, come on, people. In truth, while goblins are probably the enemy you want attacking you, because it's about the best... What did that say? Might even be raisable. Wait a minute. Body's not been as badly mutilated as most of the others. Hello. I was attacked by goblins that I found myself before Shantae, my goddess. Now I'm here again, the goblins are gone. You were cut down by goblins and I raised you. I owe my life. Why would someone use such rare value magic for something you don't even know? Died before your proper time. Just seemed fitting to rectify that. Alright. Weird. I did not know that was a thing. This is why you examine everything. Okay. Well, center of town's where they're at. We should probably just beeline it for that then, huh? Okay, I see a lot of goblins around. The moment the fighting actually starts, I doubt I'll have a chance to do much anything else. Why are you over there? Get over here. Goblin Chieftain, and they have a Hill Giant. Okay, his Barrage has the Chieftain. I'm going in for the Hill Giant. So he's sitting here throwing boulders, which hurt. And it's basically a guaranteed hit. But it can only get me... Wow, the Chieftain's downed already. Is he? No, now he's dead. He must have, yeah, 234 for him. Nice. Alright, well, let's see if there are any other chiefs around. Marksmen, warriors. I'll kill off all of you goblins. Absolutely. That's another hill giant. Priority targets, those hill giants. They can... Ooh, wow, that's a lot of bad guys. This way. So we'll get them eventually, trust me on that one. I'm just not super eager to run off into the pile of them. It is weird having to actually think semi-tactically. Yeah, no one attack me until I get within murder range of your ranged people. I appreciate that. Oh. Man, these crits are nasty. Alright, I'm gonna drop a regen on myself and Barrage. Trust me when I tell you, these things are pretty powerful, super valuable right now. They become chump change later on. You find them everywhere. So might as well use them while I've got them. Me and Barrage need to stay on our feet. Okay, so it looks like we probably killed the one... the closest thing I can say to the one organizing the attack. At least in the town. It's unlikely he's the full-on leader, because he was just a goblin, and goblins generally are not going to be in charge of bugbears and hobgoblins. And hill giants. Probably throw some disarray into goblin ranks, though, and it might disorient the ones currently attacking the town. Won't find us easy pickings, goblin. You aren't a goblin. Barbarian, what's going on here? Village is being overrun by hordes of goblins and giants. When you burst in here, assumed you were goblins. They destroyed most of the village, seems to have got lucky, and they overlooked this house, one of the smaller, less impressive ones. Regiment of soldiers supposed to be protecting the area. A whole bunch of soldiers came through a few days ago, saying they were going to go hunt down the goblins in the forest. That'd be the regiment you're talking about. Went to the forest, we heard the sounds of fighting from that direction, but after that the horde of goblins burst out of the woods and started rampaging. The regiment fought them and lost. Never heard of a goblins being a large organized group of soldiers. This group isn't your usual raiders. Don't like for any confidence. Say it wasn't warranted. Think only a portion of the goblins are here in the village, since you can still hear parties of them moving through the woods. Hope you can take them. Don't know what other hope we have. Any other survivors? I've been holed up in here. Alright. Let me loot your home real quick, though. Assuming there's anything worth looting. Garbage. Oftentimes, the most valuable things that you'll find in a person's home is in the garbage can. Lessons from Swordflight here. Okay, that'd just be his wife and his children. Well, you know, props to him for at least putting himself between his family. Better than I can say for some. Although it is absolutely the thing that everyone, every guy, every man at least, should do without even thinking. Bugbear and a hobgoblin shaman. Well, let's kill you first. Okay, I think we're getting close to that big group. Oh, yeah. Alright, well, let's see if we can focus up and kill this hill giant first, so that he's not causing a mess of us. Bear Ash is just critting every other swing. My goodness. Okay, they're gonna get... Well, actually... Okay, hold on. First, I guess I could use my actual solid protection on that, but whatever. Okay, I'm going for this one. I think this guy might be the last one in the village. Nope. Right, we didn't even get the other hill giant. Noticed I haven't raged at all either. Pretty sure they're too large to knock down, even if I hit them. I think anything of the class giant, which includes trolls, annoyingly, is immune to my knockdown, but I'm not sure. Alright, I'll enact my level up shortly. I'm just gonna give all the corpses a once-over, make sure I've killed them all, and loot them. My bark skins are gone. Oh, one of those things dispelled me. That bugbear shaman, that's what he did. He hit me with a dispel magic. Or I think a lesser dispel. Doesn't look like it did much to me. But it did get rid of my bark skins, and probably my protection from elements. Because I don't think I got hit with that many elemental attacks. I should honestly use Blade Thirst more as well. Like, I have it on that Rod of the Wilderness. It's never going to get any use for anything else. And eventually I'm going to find a +3 weapon, and it'll be pointless. Every time I get into an actually tough situation, lesser one first. I should deploy it. It's 12th. I think that thing lasts like around a level or something like that. So that's about a turn of +3 attacks. I'd take it. Alright. Seems we're fortunate an adventurer was nearby to assist us. Sent by Hamad to resist the army. What's become of the regiment? 8th Regiment showed up here a few days ago, spoke with their commander, said he was here to deal with any aggression from the goblins in the forest. They came here because we've been sending reports about increased goblin activity. Part relieved when the regiment showed up, thought our troubles were over. The commander started receiving reports of goblin activity. Didn't know where the goblins would ultimately strike, didn't want to weaken his force by spreading it, so not too long ago he decided to march into the woods and hunt the goblins down. Goblins turned out to be present in greater strength than anyone suspected, multiple tribes working in concert with giants supporting them. I don't think such an alliance has been seen in the region in centuries. A little while after the regiment marched off, we heard shouts and clashes from that direction. They'd engaged the goblins. Those sounds died down a bit. We assumed that meant our army was winning, then it indicated they were losing. Bands of goblins burst out of the forest, fell upon us soon after, slaughtering and burning. I expect you've already seen the results for yourself. A few of those who were quick and alert or simply lucky managed to find shelter here, but we would not have held out long if you'd not shown up. To think what fell upon us is only a small part of the horde. We can still hear many more in the forest. Who they be fighting? They're still hunting down remnants of the 8th Regiment. I fear whatever's left, the regiment cannot hold out very long, and with it gone, not only this village, but all the surrounding regions will be helpless before the onslaught. There's no other significant military force nearby. More goblins to kill in the forest. Onward! You should stay here to protect us. There'll be more goblins coming. You'll be undoubtedly be lost just as the 8th Regiment. Striking boldly will surprise the goblins, and perhaps rescue some allies rather than waiting for them to show up in full force with no distractions. Alright. Well, there's a merchant here. What you got? Clothing. Farmer's tools and some... a chisel. Farmer's tools and some very regular weaponry. Oh, well, a couple healing. Nothing very good. Healing kits +1. Okay, so yeah, real limited selection of stuff. At least I get safe housing in here. I could take their tools and give them back. Or I could steal from the mayor's office. Villagers survived the massacre, milling about on the upper story. Okay, I am barbarian. No, extra hit points, extra attack. Nothing great. But it's a level up. Okay, I think I'm gonna finish resting up in here and then get ready to head out. So, Objective 1, kill whatever goblins we can find in the forest and rescue whatever survivors are there of the 8th Regiment. Looks like the main force of them have been massacred, but survivors can fall back here and help defend in case I fail, which I will not. Once we've rescued as many as we're going to, and killed whatever goblins we can get our hands on. Oh, I didn't loot that guy. Then we try to locate whatever primary strength they have in there and end it swiftly and decisively. Alright, so we'll get to doing that plan then in the next one, with the primary focus being on finding the remnants of the 8th Regiment. But for now, that will be all. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.